Hello and good evening to my dear people at home. Happy to see you all here to join us. This is Community Library Yoga. I'm Alexandria, and if you haven't practiced with me before, I teach a pretty beginner-friendly, easygoing vinyasa flow. If you have any props, I forgot mine this evening, but you folks at home, if you've got blocks, straps, a stack of books, bolsters, any of that kind of stuff that you'd like to incorporate into your practice, feel free to do so. Tonight's class is going to be pretty easygoing. If you've got a pretty advanced practice and you'd like to add in some inversions and hopping forward and hopping back during those sun sals and things like that, you're more than welcome to do so. On the reverse, if at any time you need to take a break, pause, take a drink of water. If you'd like to lay in child's pose the entire class and listen to the soothing sounds of my voice, that's okay too. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to come to the back. Take the soles of the feet together, knees out wide. Reclined, bound angle, Supta Baddha Konasana. Cactus the arms if that feels okay. Starting to open up that heart space. This reclined, bound angle is one of my favorite poses. It stimulates blood flow to the lower abdomen, that space where we tend to hold tension and anxiety. Resting in this pose helps to lower the blood pressure, help to calm the body's fight or flight response. A lot of good benefits from this pose. We'll take these next few moments to start to turn the attention inward. Notice how the body's feeling. Notice the breath. Whether you started your work week today or you're just kind of taking it easy. Notice any tension you may be holding in the body. Welcome. Feel free to set up wherever you'd like. Start to deepen the breaths here. If it's available for you, breathing in and out through the nose. Feeling that heart space expand. Welcoming in peaceful, positive energy this evening. And if it's in your practice, maybe you start to tap into our Ujjayi breaths as you breathe in and out through the nose, creating a slight constriction along the back of the throat, allowing the breath to become slightly audible. Throughout the practice, I do tend to avoid too many Ujjayi breaths. I think you've all heard my obscene collar joke, so I won't tell it again. As you continue to rest here, using those Ujjayi breaths to calm the body, calm the mind, to help set away any distractions. Use those breaths to drop yourself completely into this moment, to completely experience the practice. We've got about 3 more breaths here. When you're ready, we'll start to close the knees, bringing the soles of the feet to the mat. Maybe take a couple of windshield wipers with the knees, left and right, right and left, if that feels okay. Warming up a little bit of the low spine here. And when you're ready, Passing back through center. Both soles of the feet come to the mat. I'm going to pick up that left ankle, cross it, right ankle. I do this every time. Right ankle, cross it over that left knee. So you've got options here. You can stay here. You can use that right palm, press that right knee open, get a little bit of a hip stretch there. If you'd like to take this a little deeper, you can reach behind the back of the thigh, draw the knee in close. If you'd like to go even further, you can reach around, reaching for that shin, figure four stretch here. Wherever you are, we'll take a couple breaths. Moving at your own pace, slowly release. Right sole of the foot comes to the mat and we'll switch sides. Left ankle, right knee. You've got those options. You can stay. You can press that knee open with the palm. You can reach for the back of the thigh. You can reach for the shin. Whatever feels good in your body. As always, this is your practice. Take from it whatever it is that you need. Two more breaths. Taking your time, unwind here. Left sole of the foot comes to the mat. Keeping the party going here, we're going to cross that right knee over the left. Drop both knees over to the left. Maybe cactus that right arm, gaze at those right fingertips if that feels okay on the neck. Take a big breath in here, as if you're breathing directly between each vertebrae. Really lengthen out that spine. And as you exhale, maybe drop those knees a little further. Maybe rest that left palm on the top of that knee, going a little deeper into that twist if that feels okay. One more breath here. Big breath in. And as you exhale, slowly start to unwind. Take your time. Right sole of the foot comes back to the mat. We're going to switch sides. Left knee over the right this time. Dropping both knees over to the right. Maybe you cactus that left arm. Gaze at the left fingertips if that feels okay. Big breath in here. Lengthen the spine. Exhale. Maybe you rest that right palm on that top knee, sinking a little deeper into that twist. Big breath in. And as you exhale, slowly start to unwind. Take your time, passing back through center. Take those windshield wipers with the knees if that feels okay. When you're ready, passing back through center, draw those knees into the chest. Maybe a little rock side to side. We're going to place both hands on the knees and start to make some big, gigantic butterfly circles here with the hips. We're going to push the knees away and bring them in. Big, exaggerated circles here, starting to warm up those hips. If it's available for you, maybe you reverse that direction, draw the knees in and then close. A couple more of those. Next time back through center, draw those knees into the chest once more. Take one great big rock, rock it forward into a seat. Swing those hips to one side, and we'll come into a tabletop. If you need to roll up that mat, put it under the knees. If you need a blanket, anything like that to support those knees, please feel free to grab that. We're in our tabletop pose here. We've got our palms underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We've got a few rounds of cat-cow here. Spread those fingertips nice and wide. Press into the tops of those feet, and on your next inhale, Drop the belly, lift the chin, gazes forward. Exhale, tuck the chin, press the mat away to separate those shoulder blades, rounding the spine toward the ceiling. You got 2 more of those. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin, broaden through the collarbone, tailbone draws toward the back of the room. And as you exhale, tuck the chin, spine reaches toward the ceiling. One more time, drop the belly, gaze is up. And as you exhale, round, round, round to the ceiling. We'll draw those knees out as wide as the mat. Touch the big toes together. Sit those hips back for a child's pose. I'll stay slightly lifted here so it doesn't sound weird in the mic. But feel free to rest the forehead down to the mat. Maybe move the head side to side. Maybe you make a little pillow with your hands. If you'd like a little more movement in this pose, maybe you reach those fingertips long, long, long on the inhale. Press those palms into the mat as you exhale. Really sink those hips a little closer to the heels. Feeling that nice side body stretch, lengthen along the spine. We've got 2 more breaths here. And when you're ready, we're going to make our way back into a tabletop, pausing for just a beat here. I'm going to slowly start to tuck the toes, sending the hips up and back for our first downward facing dog. It's our first downward facing dog of the evening. Bend those knees as much as you need to if those hamstrings are still a little cranky. Maybe you pedal out the feet, bending one knee at a time. Maybe you come high onto the tips of the toes, stretching out those ankles. Feeling free to move intuitively here. Maybe you make some circles with the hips. Shake the head yes, nod the head no. Doing what feels good in the body. This is your practice. Couple more breaths of movement here. And as we start to find some stillness, we'll want to make sure we've got those fingertips spread nice and wide. Press into those palms. Gaze is back toward the toes. It's okay if those heels are up a bit off the mat. It's okay if you've got to bend those knees. Do what feels good in the body. You've got 2 more breaths here. Big, full inhales. Slow, steady exhales. When you're ready, big bend in the knees. Start to walk the feet up to meet the hands. We're going to meet at the top of our mat in a forward fold. In our forward fold, ground down through all 4 corners of the feet. Press into that big toe mound. Press into the pinky toe edge. Press into both sides of the heel. Let those shoulder blades roll round forward. Release tension in the low back. Letting any stresses from the work day, any distractions, any tension melt out to the crown of the head here. If it's available for you, maybe you grab a hold of opposite elbows, sway left to right, right to left. As a reminder, bend those knees as much as you need to. One more breath wherever you are. Those fingertips come to the mat. We'll take a halfway lift, bring those palms to the shins, crown of the head draws toward the front of the room, or the front of wherever you are, respectively. Flatten out that spine. Exhale, fold. Our next full inhale brings us up to standing, reaches all the way up. And as we exhale, take a gentle twist to the right. Inhale, center. And to the left. You can take those hips with you for these first couple of rounds. Inhale, reaches up. And twist to the right. Next, inhale one more time, left side, and twist to the left. So this time, reaching energetically with those fingertips, ground down through the feet. This time, we're gonna keep those hips pointed forward, and we're gonna twist that torso. Oh man, adds a little bit of a challenge there. Gaze over that back shoulder if that feels okay. Beautiful work. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist it to the left, keeping those hips pointed forward, twisting from the trunk here, ground down through those feet, lift up out of that waistband here, and 2 more times. Inhale, reaches up, and to the right, ground down, twist from the torso, reaches up, 1 more time to the left. 1 more time, reach, reach, reach up to the ceiling. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. We're gonna start to move into some sun salutations here. Take an inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant those palms, step it back 1 foot at a time, plank pose. If plank is not in your practice, that's perfectly okay. Feel free to go right ahead and drop those knees. When you're ready, we'll all lower to the belly, untuck those toes. I'm gonna press into those palms right up underneath the shoulders, draw the chest, chin forward, baby cobra, big breath in here, and exhale, forehead to the mat. Our next inhale passes us through tabletop. Exhale sends the hips up and back, downward facing dog. So that can be our vinyasa for the evening. If you'd like to take the chaturanga up dog, down dog variation, that's perfectly okay. When you're ready, bend the knees, look forward, tiptoe the feet up to meet the hands. We've got a few more of those to get the body warmed up. Fold. Take an inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we rise, reach, ground down through those feet. You know where we're going, taking it right back to the earth, bow. Inhale for the halfway lift. Exhale, plant those palms, step it back, plank pose. Drop those knees if you need to. We're gonna all lower to the belly. Untuck those toes. Inhale, baby cobra. Activate those spinal erectors, unclench those butt muscles. Really feel those muscles along the sides of the spine working. Gaze is forward and forehead to the mat. Next inhale passes us through tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right away here, bend those knees, look forward. This time, maybe try 1 big step, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Fold. Inhale, rise, reach. Maybe you seal your prayer at the top this time. Maybe you come down the midline, palms draw down as you fold. Inhale for the half lift. Variations are fun. Plant those palms. Plank or drop the knees. Making our way to the belly. Untuck those toes. Baby cobra, remember that engagement along the spine. Forehead to the mat. Tabletop, breathe in. Downward dog, breathe out. We've got 1 last round. Bend the knees, look forward. Big step this time, or tiptoe if you'd rather. Halfway lift. Fold. Inhale, we rise, reach. Maybe add a back bend this time. Maybe seal that prayer at the top. Draw a line on the ceiling if that feels good. Again, maybe you come down to the midline. Maybe you open those arms. Whatever's your jam. Fold. Halfway lift. Plant those palms. Step it back, plank. Drop the belly. Drop to the belly. Baby cobra. Forehead down. Tabletop. Inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. We've got 3 breaths here. Returning back to those Ujjayi breaths. In and out through the nose. Our next breath in. We've got those right toes lifted up nice and high. Bend the knee, step it through, top of the mat. We're gonna spin that back heel flat about 45 degrees, point it toward the corner of that mat. I'm gonna start to raise up, pausing here in our warrior 1. So we're gonna take those hips Point them toward the front of our mat, like headlights on a car here. Really feeling that isolation. Press down through that pinky toe edge of that back foot. Sink that front knee a little deeper. Beautiful. When you're ready, start to lift the arms. Maybe take a cactus if that feels good. Whatever you're in the mood for. Strong foundation here. Press through that pinky toe. Press through that big toe mound. Gaze is soft. Draw the belly in. Relax those shoulders down. Beautiful. We got one more breath. Exhale. Bring those fingertips to the mat. No fancy transitions here. We're just going to step it right on back into a downward facing dog. Shake the head, yes. Nod the head, no. Inhale. Left toes lift high this time. Bend that knee into the chest. Step it forward. Back heel spins flat about 45 degrees, pointed toward the front corner of that mat. When you're ready, start to lift up. Adjust those hips. Got them square toward the front edge of that mat. When you're ready, lift those arms up. Remember in that foundation, press through the pinky toe edge of that back foot. Press through the big toe mound of that front foot. Take a big breath in. Sink a little deeper. Beautiful work. One more breath in here. Breath out. Fingertips to the mat. Take it right on back. Down dog. Keeping the party going here. Right toes lift up high. Next breath in. Exhale, step it through. Top of the mat. We're going to spin that back heel flat this time. This time, it's going to be parallel with that short edge of the mat. I'm going to start to lift up, bending into that front. I do this every time. Bending into that front knee. Need to be able to see you guys. Strong through that back leg. Deep bend in that front knee. Checking our alignment here. We're going to make sure that knee's stacked right on top of the ankle. We're going to make sure it's not falling out too far, falling in too far. Track it right over those toes, not underneath. When you're ready, reach as energetically with those fingertips. Broaden through the heart space, broaden through the collarbone. Gaze is directly out over those fingertips. When you're ready, flip the palm. Reaches up and back, peaceful warrior. And as you exhale, windmill those arms down. We're going to take the vinyasa this time. Step it back, plank pose. Lower to the belly. Baby cobra, inhale. Exhale, forehead to the mat. You know where we're going. Take it tabletop. And when you're ready, down dog. We've got all that side too. I'm going to keep the same side so that I can keep looking at you guys. Left toes lift up high. That's for you guys. I'm just going to go ahead and step it forward. When you're ready, you're going to spin that back heel flat, pinky toe side, parallel with the short edge of the mat. When you're ready, start to lift up. That was the worst cue ever. I'm so sorry. When you're ready, spread those fingertips. Broaden through the chest, broaden through the collarbone. I have that same problem every single class, and I still teach Warrior 2 anyway. When you're ready, flip the palm. Reaches up and back, peaceful warrior. And when you're ready, windmill those arms down. We'll take the vinyasa, step it back, plank. Lower to the belly. Baby cobra, inhale. Exhale, forehead to the mat. When you're ready, pass through tabletop. Hips go up and back. Down dog. If you'd like, you can take a child's pose here. Take a little break. Cool off, bring the heart rate down. Take a drink, towel off if you need to. We've got 3 breaths. When you're ready, we've got tabletop. And we'll all meet in a down dog. From our down dog, we're going to start to widen the feet here. Bring in the toes to the outer edge of the mat and start to walk those hands back toward the feet. Semi-wide leg forward fold here. Really letting those shoulders roll forward, releasing tension in the neck. Those fingertips graze the mat, maybe the palms come to the mat. If you'd like to take this a little deeper, maybe you bring the fingertips back behind you, walk the fingertips back, a little bit of leverage here, help you fold a little deeper. It makes my voice sound weird, so I'm not gonna do that. If you'd like a little bit of work in this posture, draw up on those kneecaps, activate those quad muscles, pour the weight into the balls of the feet, fold a little deeper. Wherever you are, let's bring those fingertips back toward the midline. Take an inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Leaving those palms or fingertips to the mat. You can heel toe those toes in slightly if you need to. We're going to start to sit those hips down low into a yogi squat. Now, maybe your squat's here. Maybe if you've got a book or a stack of books at home, maybe you bring them underneath the rear end. Maybe you're up on the toes. Wherever your yogi squat is perfect. Wherever you are in your practice is perfect. We've got 3 rounds of dynamic movement here. So from here, we're gonna press into those pinky toe edges of both feet. Really activate those quad muscles, draw the belly in, and we're gonna use our full inhale. Bring us up to standing. Beautiful, nice and slow. Exhale, back down into that squat. Beautiful. We've got 2 more. Press, 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 rise up, draw that belly in. Exhale, sink. Beautiful work. Got one last one, inhale. Exhale, fold. Fingertips to the mat, palms to the mat. Maybe take a rag doll here if that feels good. Wherever you are, fingertips come to the mat. No fancy transitions, we're just gonna step those feet back up underneath the hips. We're gonna walk those palms out and come back into our downward facing dog. Rounds of breath to reset. When you're ready, right toes lift up high. Bend the knee, step it forward. Staying high on the ball of that back foot this time. We've got a high lunge. Now in our high lunge, we can lean those fingertips to the hips. We can heart center. Maybe you cactus. Or if you're in the mood, you can reach all the way up. Whatever you'd like. Wherever you are, we're gonna draw those shoulders back in space where they're stacked right over those hips. We're gonna check that alignment of that knee, stack it right on top of that ankle, sending energy out through that back heel, high on the ball of that left foot. Draw the belly in. If it's available for you, everybody reach it up. We're gonna start to sweep the arms back behind us as we pour the weight into that right foot. Start to float those back toes up off the mat. Doing this and talking at the same time is not always easy. Warrior 3. You can support yourself with the fingertips like I am. If I can talk and tell you to do it at the same time, I will demonstrate. Arms sweep back behind you. There we go. Maybe take the arms out to a T. Maybe heart center. One more breath wherever you are. And nice and easy. We're just gonna bring that left foot up to meet the right, and we're gonna fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we rise, reach. You know where we're going. Taking it right back down. Bow. Halfway lift. Plant those palms. We're going to take a vinyasa or just meet us in downward facing dog, whatever your jam. If you're with me, we're going to lower to the belly, untuck those toes. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, the forehead to the mat. Next inhale, tabletop. Downward facing dog. We got that side too. Left toes lift up high this time. Bend that knee, step it through. Keeping that back heel lifted, high lunge. Getting your foundation, getting your balance here. When you're ready, start to lift up. Taking a moment to find whichever hand placement favors you. My glasses are sliding off of my face. All right, wherever you are, we'll all reach up. Big breath in. Sweeping the fingertips back behind you. Pour the weight into that left foot this time. It's going to go better this time, I promise. There we go. Warrior 3. Sweeping the arms back behind you. Or if you needed, you can absolutely bring those fingertips to the mat. Support yourself that way. You can bring those palms together at heart center. Sweep the arms out into a T. One breath wherever you are. And nice and easy, we're just going to step that right foot up to meet the left and fold. And inhale for the halfway lift. Exhale, fold. How about one more vinyasa? Inhale, rise, reach up. Maybe take the back bend. Bow, exhale. Inhale for the half lift. Exhale, fold. Plant those palms. We're going to come down onto the belly. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale. Next inhale, tabletop. And how about an exhale, child's pose. Forehead to the mat. 3 breaths here. Take a drink if you need it. Move the head side to side, a little third eye massage if that feels good. When you're ready, tabletop and downward facing dog. So you've got that high lunge once more. So inhale, right toes lift up high. Bend the knee, step it forward. This time we're going to leave those fingertips down to the mat. If it's available for you, we'll start to bring that left palm to the mat down beside that right foot. You can bring the fingertips to the hips, or you can start to extend, rotate that chest open, beautiful. Gaze up at the thumb if that feels okay on the neck. Really rotating from the torso like we did at the beginning of class. Sending energy out through that back heel, getting into that, a little bit of that outer hip here. One breath in, wherever you are. And sweep those arms down. Stay with me here. If it's available for you, we'll start to straighten that front leg. You can shorten that stance if you need to. Bump that back foot up so that heel is on the mat, or you can keep it lifted. Take a big breath in here. And as you exhale, maybe you bring the nose a little closer to the knee. I did say straight. Okay, I actually couldn't remember if I said straighten the leg or not. I'm pretty sure I said it. If you'd like to take this stretch a little deeper, maybe you lift those toes up off the mat. On the flip side, if this is a little too intense, maybe take a bend in the knee. Whatever you need. One more breath in. Breath out. When you're ready, start to bend back into that low lunge. Palms come to the mat. Step it on back. Downward facing dog. You've got the left side this time. Left toes lift up high. Bend the knee. Step it forward. Leaving those fingertips low if it's available for you. And when you're ready, bring that right palm to the mat. Sweep those left fingertips up, or you can bring them to the hip. If you've got the palm extended, maybe gaze up at the thumb if that feels okay on the neck. Really rotate that chest open. Really twisting at the trunk, lengthen that spine. One breath here. Fingertips come to the mat. Start to straighten that front leg. You can bump that heel in if you need to. You can stay high on the ball of that back foot. Turns out I did say straighten the leg on the other side. You got options here. You can stay here. You can bend into that knee. You can take it a little deeper by lifting up that heel, lifting those toes up off the mat. One breath wherever you are. I'm going to revisit that lunge, bend into that knee, bring those palms to the mat, downward facing dog. Spread those fingertips nice and wide, revisiting that alignment in our down dog. Press the mat away, working to relax the chest toward the knees. If those hamstrings are still a little cranky, you can bend those knees if you need to. Maybe revisit those pedaling out of the feet. Shake that yes, nod the head no. When you're ready, right toes high one more time. Bend that knee into the chest, and this time, we're going to start to sit that right knee behind that right wrist, coming into a pigeon pose. So if you've got props at home, and you've got that hips lifted up off the mat, you can just slide that block, blanket, bolster up underneath those hips, the right hip. You can bring those forearms to the mat. You can make a little pillow with the hand. You can rest that forehead onto the mat. We've got resting pigeon here. We'll be here about 5 breaths. For these next few breaths, I invite you to send a little bit of love, a little bit of warmth to anywhere in the body that may need it. Maybe it's the hips, maybe it's the hamstrings, maybe it's the shoulders. Any areas of resistance, any pockets of tension in the body, send a little bit of love, send a little bit of breath to those places. Maybe post-yoga, you send it a little bit of wine. Ha ha ha, JK, JK. One more breath here. When you're ready, press back up into the palms. I've got a fun transition here if you'd like to come with me. If not, you can just step it on back into downward facing dog. If you're coming with me, we're going to tuck those left toes, draw that knee into the chest, sweep it right on back, 3-leg dog. How fun is that? And downward facing dog. If you're like, ew, no, you don't have to do it again. Promise I won't make you. But we've got that pigeon pose, side 2. So left toes lift up nice and high. When you're ready, bend into the knee. Set that knee right behind that left wrist. Extend those back toes and make your way into your version of resting pigeon. Got that block, blanket, bolster if you need to. Tuck it under that hip. You can come to the forearms. Forehead can come to the mat. You can make that little pillow with the hands. Whatever feels good. We've got about 5 breaths. For just half a second. I was thinking, oh, it's so quiet. It's me. I'm usually the one saying things, huh? Couple more breaths here. When you're ready, we'll walk those palms back up to the mat. If you're coming with me, tuck those right toes, draw that knee into the chest, sweep it back, 3-leg dog, or just meet us in downward facing dog and skip all of that. When you're ready, bend into those knees, big step or tiptoe, top of the mat. Inhale for the half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we rise, reach, burst up. Maybe prayer at the top, maybe a back bend. Open the arms, leap with the chest, forward fold. Inhale for the half lift. Exhale, fold, plant those palms. We've got one last plank. Lower to the belly. Baby cobra, inhale. Forehead to the mat, exhale. Tabletop. And our last downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. When you're ready, bend the knees. Start to tiptoe forward. Cross at the ankles. Make our way down into the seat. We have now reached the cool down portion of the class. We've got those legs right out in front of us. Ground it down to those sits bones. Hold on, Mike's riding up here. All right, there we go. Ground it down through those sits bones. Stack those shoulders right over the hips. Strong flex in those ankles, soles of the feet. Send the energy out. Big breath in here, reach up. Exhale, seated forward fold. You can reach for the big toes. You can reach for the soles of the feet. You can reach for the ankles. Or you can just let those fingertips land wherever they may. Your seated forward fold. Draw the crown of the head forward. 2 more breaths. And when you're ready, slowly release back up to a seat. And you can straddle as wide as is comfortable for you. You can take it here. You can take it pancake fold, whatever's your jam. I'm going to stay here today. And we're still grounded down through those sits bones. We're going to reach up nice and tall. And we're going to fold it down the middle. Again, letting those fingertips land wherever they may. Forearms can come to the mat. Send energy out through the crown of the head. Lengthen that spine. We've got 3 breaths. If it feels good to point the toes, maybe try flexing the feet. If it feels good to flex, maybe try pointing. Really flatten out that spine and really hinge at the hips to help you fold. Beautiful. One more breath. When you're ready, slowly press back up to a seat. We're going to reach up nice and tall once more. This time, we're going to bring that right forearm inside that right thigh. So you can bring those left fingertips to the hip as you rotate that chest open. If it's in your practice, you can reach up and over. If you're feeling extra fancy, you can reach for those right toes. Super not in the mood for that this evening, but if you are, go for it. We've got 2 breaths here, feeling that nice side body stretch. One more breath in. Breath out. Next, inhale back through center. We're going to take that on the left. Left forearm goes inside that left thigh. You can bring those right fingertips to the hip. Rotate that chest open. You can reach it up and over. You can reach for those left toes if that's in your practice. Wherever you are, got a couple breaths. Side body stretch here. And when you're ready, back through center once more. Reach nice and tall, and fold back through center. Let those fingertips, forearms, palms rest wherever they land. 2 more breaths. When you're ready, slowly press back up to a seat. Bring those heels back together, and we'll start to make our way onto our backs. Pew! Windshield wiper those knees left and right, right and left if that feels okay. Back through center, both soles of the feet come to the mat. Pause here. We're going to bring the left foot out long. Right knee draws into the chest, wrapping one or both palms around the knee or around the shin. Make some circles with the ankles, maybe one direction and then the other. And if it's available for you, maybe you start to reach forward, grabbing for the outer edge of that right foot for a half happy baby. If that's not in your practice, that's perfectly fine. You've got an option to maybe take a figure four stretch instead. One more breath wherever you are. And slowly release. And we'll switch sides. Right foot draws out long. Left knee draws into the chest. One or both palms around the knee or the shin. Maybe make some circles with the ankle. One direction. And then the other. When you're ready, and if you'd like, you can reach forward, grabbing for the outer edge of the left foot, half happy baby. If that's not in your practice, that's perfectly fine. Maybe take a figure four stretch instead. Or maybe that Supta Baddha Konasana, that's an option as well, that reclined angle. One breath wherever you are. And slowly release. Both soles of the feet come to the mat once more. We've got one round of bridge where we're going to hold for a couple of breaths. So we're going to walk those heels in toward the rear end here. We're going to press into those heels. Start to lift those hips up off the mat. You can tuck those shoulder blades. I don't know why I drew a blank on that. Anyway, you can tuck those shoulder blades under, really puffing out that chest, lift the chin, making some space for the breath. We got 2 breaths here if it's available for you. Lift, lift, lift those hips, those pelvis points point toward the ceiling. One more breath in. Exhale, lower those hips all the way to the mat. Untuck those shoulder blades. Move the head side to side. Drop one ear to the mat and then the other if that feels good. One last pose here. We're going to draw both heels up toward the ceiling. Flatten out that spine. Press the low back, middle back, upper shoulders into the mat. We've got waterfall. Waterfall is my absolute favorite. Restorative inversion. Helps to recirculate the blood, get some oxygen into those blood cells. Helps to lower feelings of anger. Helps to lower the blood pressure. Helps to calm the mind, calm the body. We've got 2 more breaths here. If you've got props and such at home, you can slide a block underneath those hips. You can take this pose up to the wall, whatever feels good. There's even the option to take your Shavasana, legs up the wall if you'd like. One more breath. If you're here in the room with me, you're going to bend those knees into the chest. If you're going to take that Shavasana waterfall, you can stay where you are. I'm going to draw the knees into the chest one more time. Lift the forehead from one last great big squeeze. And we'll release into Shavasana. Rest, rest, rest. Take a moment to thank yourself for your practice this evening. Thank yourself for your effort. Thank your body for its areas that allow you to explore deeper into the practice. And thank your body for honoring any limitations. And lastly, giving thanks for being kind and gentle and patient with yourself this evening. I invite you to treat your Shavasana like a gift to yourself. For just these next few moments, you only need to be here. You only need to be now. lingering in these last few moments of relaxation. If you're still here with me, take your time to roll over to your favorite side, pausing for just a breath. And take your time, however you'd like to get there. I'll meet you in an easy seat when you're ready. I invite you all to close the eyes down and bring the palms together at heart center for one last cleansing breath. Inhale. Exhale, release a sigh. Community yoga is such a joy. It's such an honor to be here with all of you this evening. Thank you so much for coming. To you folks at home, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Alexandria. I hope to see you all back soon. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste. Thanks so much, everybody.